Let's say somebody is ready. They've realized that they can't take care of the house anymore. They're ready to make the move. What are the top things that they should be kind of thinking about to make this a little bit more practical? What's the biggest mistake people make when downsizing?
Okay. Hey, Tyler.
Hey.
How was your week? Stop laughing.
Welcome to the TNT Real Estate Podcast, where we spark conversations that set you up for real estate success. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Tanya, and each week we bring you expert tips on navigating Northern Ontario's real estate market. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we've got the tools to help you thrive.
Welcome back.
Hi.
How was your week?
My week was good. It was busy.
You sell anything?
Yes.
What'd you sell?
2 places.
2 places?
Yes.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, really good. The cottage and then first-time home buyers buying.
Oh, you showed me the cottage.
Really nice. That cottage was amazing.
I could have just lived in the garage, I feel.
I know. Yeah, I told Ben that we don't need to build a cabin or a cottage. We just need to build that replica of that garage.
A garage-nominium.
It was fantastic. It had its own heating system, its own septic system, a bathroom.
The kitchen was nice. The kitchen was nicer than my kitchen at all.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Anyway, my clients are going to be super, super happy.
Yeah.
How about you? Did you sell anything this week?
I sold one, got accepted offer on another one, and I listed 2 or 3 properties.
2 or 3.
This is good.
Yeah, that's good. You can't even count anymore. You've lost track.
Well, one was technically last Friday, so I can't really count that one because you asked me about this week.
But we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll let you count it.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's been busy. Fall market has been steady. I feel like it's started there's a glimmer of slowing down because some properties are not selling as quick as they should, I think. But it's been a pretty strong fall.
It's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity. Anything that doesn't sell to reconsider and have a look. Awesome.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about downsizing. It's something we encounter a lot in our business.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who are either retiring or empty nesters. I'm on the horizon of empty nesting, but I don't think I'll be downsizing anytime soon. But we're seeing a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. I mean, in a previous episode, we mentioned that 20% of our population in Sudbury is over 65. So I think that's, a pretty big, let's say 20% is also, not at home buying. So it leaves a little bit of a gap in the middle. And there's obviously lots, even if you expand that from 65 to 50, let's say, that's probably 35%. So that's a lot of people in our population that are willing to downsize or looking at downsizing in the next couple of years.
And that's a good perspective to have, is that's a big range in ages. It's a big demographic range. So what does downsizing really mean? What does it mean to our clients? What do you see in your business? I
think it's simplifying. I think so I've had people downsize at 50. They're still 5 years away from retirement. They're, well off. They've done the saving that they needed to. They want to downsize from their big home. They ended up going into an apartment, and then they bought a cottage halfway between here and the Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful on the water. So it's they can, if they want to go to Florida for a couple months during the winter, especially after retirement, which is, they probably retired last year. They just close the door, they lock it. They have somebody come and check on their apartment every once in a while. But it's just easy. It's simple. They just close the door and they're gone.
Downsizing can be different things to different people depending on what sort of life stage they're at or what they're looking for. But I think that's a really good example, simplifying your life and making your housing match your lifestyle, really, and what you want. Yeah. But how downsizing can also be fully moving from a larger home or a home with large acreage or that type of thing, something that requires a lot of work and effort, and moving into something that is either maybe a retirement rental or a smaller home to downsize to that fits your needs.
And I feel when you're talking to different I say even different generations of that, of the plus 60. So when you're talking to somebody that's 85, I feel there's a lot of emotion built into their houses because it was their financial stability. And then they think of getting rid of that house means they no longer have financial stability, which is the wrong way to look at it. But I understand through, their lives.
They've owned a home for 40 years, right? So it's hard to change.
It is, yeah. And so, they don't necessarily see, they're going to get a huge check into their bank account, which is going to make them equally financially stable. But I feel like you're right in the way you said it, as it's more of like a physical, it's not, like simplifying is not necessarily just financial. It's also like physically, like, do you have to go out and shovel your step? Like, are you not going to have to do that moving forward? Cut the grass. If you live on acreage, you know, got a big mower going or a tractor or something, whatever it is. So it's not simplifying financially, but it's like, you know, emotionally, physically, like it's just like making your lifestyle a little bit easier, I guess.
What do you think is usually that sort of trigger for people to think, I need to make a change in my housing, I need to downsize?
A lot of the people that I talk to, I always hear, I just can't do it anymore. I just can't keep up with it anymore. So it is like the physical part of it, I would say, more than anything. I think the financially astute people are like, you know, like we've gained $300,000 of equity in the last couple of years throughout the pandemic. Let's just sell it, because what happens if next year it comes down even 20%? Like, is it a risk that we're willing to take? But yeah, most of it I think is they wait until they physically cannot manage it anymore.
And I think that's part of the problem too that we see in our business is people wait until they can't manage it anymore, like you said, or a family member says like, Mom, Dad, you can't do this anymore. I'm not going to let you, I'm scared of what's going to happen, you know, while I'm away, or it's going to come to me. So I need you to consider that move that's going to be more safe for you, right? Like sometimes it's about safety, accessibility, them doing a lot less work in the home. And unfortunately, I think people could benefit if they start thinking about it a lot sooner than when they absolutely can't handle it anymore, or a family member says, look, we need you to make a change. And sometimes they have to reframe it and not say, we need you to make a change for you. They say, we need you to make a change for us.
Yeah. And I mean, like a lot of the elders have been in the house, like you were saying, for, 40, like there's been multiple times in the last like 2 years, I can count at least 5 of them that have sold houses for people that have been there for over 60 years.
Oh my goodness.
So like, I mean, they collect. There was actually one that I dealt with a few years ago. It was beginning of COVID, maybe. It was out in Coniston. The kids, so the parents had passed. The kids spent $19,000 on not even a restoration, but basically like a garbage company. They just came in. They had 20 sheds on the property filled with stuff. Wow. So it was like more like, obviously that's an extreme example, but I mean, that's a huge burden to put on somebody else as well. So I mean, it's better just to do it, while you can still be apart. And it just makes the burden for the next generation a little bit easier, I guess. Okay, I think I just got an idea on our neck. We should do another podcast one day. We should research this a little more. But have you heard of the Swedish? Is it Swedish Death Cleaning? Swedish
Death Cleaning.
Where is this? Where are we going with this?
So,
Dana?
well, like Let's the Marie Kondo age, the sort of, does it give you pleasure, your things, to get rid of your stuff, your excess stuff, right? And I think it's Swedish. I'm going to have to look into this. But what it is you start doing, it's not like you're not dying, obviously, but you treat it as though like, holy, everybody else who's left in my life, if I were to die, is going to have to take care of all this stuff I've left behind. So it's about getting ahead of that and cleaning your life, like, sorting your affairs, cleaning your stuff out, as though, taking that burden off the next generation. Yeah.
Swedish Death Cleaning.
I think it's Swedish Death Cleaning. You're going to have to look into that. Maybe I'm completely wrong and we're going to have to like bleep this whole thing out. Yeah. But I think some other, other cultures and other people have ways of dealing with these types of things in advance. And we often, in North America anyway, we tend to just ignore it and let the stuff pile up and say that like having these things is a sign of our wealth and that we've accomplished something. Whereas there's a lot of other cultures where it's not about showing that you have all these things. It's about living a life that you love, right? So so hopefully people can start thinking about downsizing ahead of time, and let's talk about maybe downsizing the smart way. So prepping for it.
Let's do that. Okay, so let's switch gears from Swedish Death Cleaning, and let's say somebody is ready. They've realized that they can't take care of the house anymore. They're ready to make the move. What are the top things that they should be kind of thinking about to make this a little bit more practical?
So Decluttering, number one. I mean, we say that to anybody who's looking at selling their home. Decluttering is the most important thing you can start with now. So maybe you've already bought another place, or you're thinking about what size that next place will be. Start pretending like you actually have to live in that space. Maybe it's going from 1,000 square foot bungalow with a basement to 1,000 square feet on one level.
Yeah.
So what's in your basement, get rid of it, declutter, keep the things that you love. Yeah. What do you think about people should do for downsizing?
Well, definitely declutter and enlist your family members. Like, have a conversation with them and say, listen, this is what chances are they've probably already had that conversation, but this is what I'm thinking about doing. I feel like this house is getting a little bit too big for me. I need your help to declutter. Instead of, like we were talking about before, and instead of, being like, instead of me burdening you with a house full of stuff, let's help me work on this house now to declutter, and then we can downsize, practically.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't think about it at this stage necessarily, but I think calling a realtor to come in, have a look, they'll give you an honest opinion, build a relationship with a good realtor who's going to tell you truthfully what you need to do to get your house ready for sale and what you need to do in anticipation of moving into a smaller house.
That's right. And I mean, like we have the contacts that you need, like even if you need help, decluttering or staging or, donating your stuff to, a good organization, like we have contacts for all of that. Yeah. So even if you're not like ready to make the move right now, we can help as a realtor. We would help you, get ready for that. Oh, absolutely. That movement, for sure.
We even have people who run auctions for all the items, like the extra crystal bowls that you don't need anymore, that your kids don't want. They'll run auctions to help get rid of your things. Maybe you get a little bit of money in return, but also that those things are finding a new home.
Yeah. And I think the next point would be like, start thinking about where you see yourself next. Do you want to be in a walkable area? Do you want to be on a farm with acreage? I don't know why you'd want that, but a little house or something. What part of the city you want to live in? And what would be, acceptable? Like there's no outskirts or there's no downtown. You need to figure out, with your family, figure out what exactly you want.
Yeah. And you can chat with your realtor as well about that location, if it's going to meet your needs, if it's going to give you the lifestyle that you want every day, right? Because I think, we started the podcast talking about the lifestyle. Yeah. And that's what's really important here. Downsizing, moving, changing your lifestyle. What do you want it to look like and where do you want to be? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So let's wrap this one up with a few questions that are very important. So Tanya, if somebody's on the fence, what's one thing that they should do this week to start exploring downsizing?
I think you should look at like where you are in your life. What is your home and your land, like where you are? What does it give you that you enjoy and that you love, right? What are those key points? And then it's kind of like a pros and cons list. Write down what you love and then write down what you don't love. What's a bit of a burden? And then I would take that and look at, well, what's the next option, right? How do I keep all the things that I love about my home, about my area? And how do I eliminate some of those other things? Like if it's snow removal or all the maintenance that's required for a property, you can sort of learn what you're looking for that way if you start thinking about it a little bit objectively.
Mm-hmm. So here's another one for you. What's the biggest mistake people make when downsizing?
I think leaving it a little bit too late, the decision to downsize. I think, unfortunately, a lot of people think about sort of the cost savings. You mentioned quite rightly, people who are homeowners don't necessarily want to become renters. Yeah. There's a certain stigma. I don't know why. I don't think that's true. I don't think it should exist. But sometimes people have that misconception that renting is a negative. So, looking at it from a whole picture well in advance of when you are going to be needing to downsize and getting ready for it, I think is really important. You can't rush it. You can't leave it till the last minute, but it's important to sort of balance those two.
Yeah. When you know, I guess. Okay. And the last one, what's the upside that most people don't expect when they do downsize?
In my experience, it's been that sort of like weight is lifted. Mm-hmm. Like they just feel freer, more able to do things, more capable. It's a very emotional process for most people to go through it. But once you're at the finish line and living in that life that you have envisioned, it's just calm, comfortable, and so much easier.
I thought you were going to say the fat bank account that comes with selling your house that you've owned for 60 years, but.
Well, if you like looking at numbers, yes, if you can see that in your investment portfolio, looking at those numbers makes you feel good. That's great.
Yeah. I feel like there's the stigma is not even a stigma, but like the issue is, okay, I don't have a mortgage, but I'm going to go into an apartment that I have to pay $2,000 a month for. That doesn't make any sense. But when you think about, liquidating your house, and let's even say like a regular new Sudbury bungalow, you're going to get $500,000 in your bank account. That $2,000 a month goes a long way. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's more about, upsizing your lifestyle and downsizing your home. And that's, I think that's the key for a lot of people in the later stages of life, is just making simplicity work.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in to the TNT Real Estate Podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share with others looking to succeed in real estate.
We'll catch you next time with more tips and strategies for navigating Northern Ontario's #1 real estate market. Until then, stay ahead in real estate.